There's this specific kind of loneliness that I am starting to learn about and hear about and even speak about. It's not necessarily having nobody. It may actually be type of loneliness that you know plenty of people. Your phone has plenty of numbers. You have coworkers, cousins, old friends, people you have known for years. And then Saturday comes around. You want to do something. Nothing dramatic happens, but nobody needs rescuing. You just want some company. Maybe brunch sounds good. You want to walk around, drink something overpriced, and kind of talk nonsense. And you sit there thinking, who am I calling? Not because nobody loves you. That is what makes it really strange. You have people, but do you have people available for the relationship needed? Calendar invites and 3 week vacation notice, location sharings, and weather confirmation, and prayer. Everybody's busy, including you. And I think that it would make adult relationships so interesting when we were younger. Proximity helped tremendously. You went to school together, lived in a block or next building next door, worked the same shift, had lunch the same time. You were in the same organization. Somebody was just there. Friendships had repetition built in like life. You did not necessarily schedule intimacy. Life kept putting you together. As adulthood started separating everything. Somebody got married, had children, moved, changed careers, caring for parents, building a business or businesses, exhausted. You hardly many work weekends, protecting their peace so hard that they accidentally protect themselves from everybody. And suddenly seeing somebody you really like requires negotiation that felt vaguely intentional. Um, what does October looks like for you? And that even vaguely intentional as I'm thinking about what I'm about to say. International. What is what does October looks like for you? It's August now. Okay. And I do not even think that matters that the friendship that means the friendship is bad because it doesn't mean that life simply becomes really full. That is different. I think sometimes we personalize busyness. She never calls me. He never reaches out. Nobody invites me anymore. And sometimes is truth there. Sometimes a relationship has really become very one-sided. But sometimes everybody is really sitting home thinking everyone else is busy too. Nobody wants to be bothered anymore. Nobody wants to seem really needy. Nobody wants to be the person who is always initiating. So everybody respectively leaves everybody alone. And now everyone is lonely. That's kind of ridiculous. There is another part of this that I think gets harder with age. That I think we become more particular. And I do not mean that negatively. You know yourself better now. You know what drains you, what interests you, kind of conversation makes you want another conversation. And you always know what makes you think. I am never doing that again. So many, so maybe you are not looking for anybody to fill space. You want people who feel compatible. That changes the search. When you were 21, sometimes friendship was, you like that song too? This wasn't there yet, but you know what I mean. Done. Best friends. Now you might be thinking, can I be myself around you? Can we talk about real things? Can we laugh? Do you actually enjoy living? Do you like celebrating somebody else? Can you disagree without turning everything into, have you ever asked people, are they curious? Do you have a life too? My favorite, can we be quiet together? Can I say no sometime without the friendship becoming a federal case? You're not just looking for someone to sit beside you. You are looking for a certain quality of experience inside the friendship. That's different. And maybe that means there are fewer people who naturally click with you. But fear does not mean more. I think we need to remember that, especially once we start seeing things like it is impossible to make friends now. It is impossible, or is it less like automatic? Those are not the same thing because adult friendship often requires something many of us did not need before: intentionality. Yes, intentionality, not a lesson plan, not a friendship strategy binder. I mean, somebody eventually has to say, you seem interesting. Want to grab some tea or some coffee? Somebody has to move the relationship from pleasant interaction to actual conversation or connection. And that part can feel a little awkward to people who are not used to initiating the kind of conversation or being weirdly the first person to say or ask questions, because apparently asking another grown woman or person if she wants to hang out can make you feel like you're 12 again. Do you want to be my friend? You can check the box, yes or no. It's like you asking yourself, why am I nervous? I pay taxes, for Christ's sake. I have survived things. I can make appointments, and somehow this is intimidating. But I understand it because friendship involves a little vulnerability. You are essentially saying, I enjoy your presence enough that I would like more of it. And there is a chance the other person does not respond. Maybe they're genuinely busy. Maybe they already have a full circle. Or maybe you're not their person. They meant to kind of respond, but completely forgot. That could be one too. All of those things can happen, and more of them necessarily means, no, and none of them necessarily means there is something wrong with you. That is where I think adult friendship and dating share something. You cannot take every mismatched personality or every mismatched personal. You are not going to connect deeply with every interesting person you meet. Some people are wonderful acquaintances. Some become activity partners, deep friends. Some remain somebody you enjoy whenever your paths happen to cross. That counts a lot. I think we put pressure on every connection to become important. Maybe it does not need to. Somebody is your bookstore person, a travel person, travel babe. Somebody is your anime person. Somebody is your friend who wants to talk about business. Maybe another person absolutely does not want to hear about your business. And honestly, good for both of you. We need that range. One person does not need to continue your entire social life. That is too much responsibility. And I wonder whether some adults feel like they have no community because they are looking for one group of fit to fulfill every form of connection. Maybe community looks more scattered now. A person here, person in New York, person in Connecticut, person, you know, in Miami. A couple you travel with, somebody you call after work, somebody you can sit with quietly, and even somebody who always know where the good food is hiding. And over time, maybe those pockets start feeling like a village. It still counts. Community does not have to arrive already assembled in matching t-shirts. Sometimes you build it person by person. I also think about adult friendships require us to stop romanticizing long histories and live long histories. There is something beautiful about somebody who knew you 20 years ago. They remember things you forgot. They watch you become. That kind of friendship can be priceless, but knowing everybody for 20 years does not automatically mean you currently have a 20-year deep relationship. Sometimes you have 20 years of history and 6 months of actual connection. You change. They change. Nobody did anything terrible. You simply stop participating actively in each other's current life. This is why making new friends does not necessarily mean replacing old ones. Sometimes new friendships meet the woman you're becoming right now. They did not know the old you. They do not expect the old you. They met you here, right now, in this present moment. They could, that could be freedom in that. You can say, I love traveling, and they do not say, since when? You know, you can say, I want to try this. And nobody reminds you that you have hated something similar in 2004. People with history will humble you. You can reinvent your entire identity and somebody will say, you still owe me them $12 from the restaurant back in 88. Okay. Thank you for keeping me grounded. And thank you for bringing me back down. It's like your white washcloth and I wipe my face off after taking a shower and dirt still comes up. You humbled me, you grounded me, you reminded me, boy, bam. New relationships give you space to show up as present day you. And maybe we need both. People who remember, people who discover. I think we underestimate how many friends die from vagueness. We have to get together? Yes. We should definitely do brunch? Absolutely. I miss you. I miss you too. We need to plan something. Absolutely. Then somebody disappears for 5 months. We planned nothing because sometimes it's not a date. That does not mean friendship needs to become more projects to manage. But but somebody has to make it real. Saturday around 2, now we have something. I'm going to this place over here on Thursday. Stopping by? Do you want to come? Now this decision. I'm free next weekend. Are you around? Simple. I think Pacific helps adult relationship because everybody is carrying so much. Like the easier it is to answer, and I personally like invitations. Yeah, and do not feel emotion loaded. Like not like we never see each other anymore. There are already times that I've been called to the human resource department. Try like, I'm checking a place on a Saturday. Come if you're free. There's warmth, there's room, there's no guilt. That matters because adults need invitation without pressure, especially if you're building friendships with people who have full lives. Sometime they're going to say no. And if every no becomes, like, this doesn't like me, you will stop inviting or talking soon. No. Look for the patterns, not one answer. If I invite you 4 times and you say no every time and never offer the date, okay, maybe that tells me something. Unnecessarily something terrible. Maybe simply do not have the room for this relationship right now. I can respect that. But one no, that's life. People have appointments. People get tired. People have families. Sometimes somebody genuinely wants to see you and genuinely cannot see you on Tuesday. Both things can be true, Queen. Yeah. We have to leave room for adults to have lives. And this brings me to reciprocity. Not keeping the score. Do not want friendships where somebody is counting calls, like minutes on a prepaid phone. I called you twice. You text me once. No, but I do know it's energy. And if I'm always reaching out, always planning, always checking in, always keeping the relationship alive, eventually I'm going to wonder whether I'm building the friendship or maintaining a subscription nobody requested, honey. It does not mean everything to have to be extra 50/50, but relationships have seasons. Somebody may be overwhelmed, grieving. Somebody may have one more capacity, a more capacity temporarily. But over time, I want evidence that both people want this. If it can show up differently, maybe I'm a planner. Maybe you're the checker in. Maybe I do the activities. Maybe you're the person who remembers important dates. Consistency does not have to look identical. It just needs to feel very mutual. I do not need you to love exactly like me, but I do need to be able to recognize the love is happening here. And this is something I think gets overlooked a lot. When people talk about finding friends, you cannot only ask, where are my people? At some point, you have to be able to be available to be found. Hmm. That does not mean turning yourself into a social butterfly. If that is not you, fine. But if you want community and every invitation gets rejected, every conversation ends quickly, you never initiate anything, you never leave your house, and nobody is allowed to know anything remotely vulnerable about you, we have created a difficult assignment. Nobody can build closeness. Please do not. But friendships require repeated contact and gradual revelation. You learn something about me, I learn something about you. You remember, you follow up, you tell me about something that mattered to you. Later, I ask how it went. A tiny moment matters because it says, I heard you. And I think being remembered is one of the quickest ways people feel cared for. You mentioned an interview. I asked how it went. You told me your mother was having a procedure. I checked on you. You said you wanted to try something new. I went and researched it, but my new friend, and I sent you the information when I happened to see it. Friendships also often get built through like very ordinary evidence that somebody was paying attention. Not grand big gestures, not matching tags for 3 weeks. Whew, don't do that. Please slow down. I'm just mad. I don't know. Don't even know your middle name yet. No, but ordinary consistency. That is what makes somebody I know to a person who knows me. And maybe this is why making friends while everyone's busy requires changing what friendship looks like. And maybe friendships is not always forward dinners every week. Maybe sometimes it is a 20-minute phone call. Maybe you run errands together. Maybe one person cooks while the other person talks. Maybe you work on separate things in the same room. Together, have breakfast, evenings possible, you on dinners, travel once a year, such ridiculous things in between. Maybe you have a standing first Sunday of every month situation. There is no friendship police out there coming to expect a schedule, built or works. I think a lot of adults need permission to stop comparing their friends to other stages of their lives. You may not see your friends the way you did 25 years ago. You often do not live the way you did 25 years ago either. It does not automatically mean the friendship is less meaningful. Sometimes death is not frequency. You can have somebody you do not speak with weekly who absolutely show up when it matters. And sometimes you speak daily. Who knows, surprisingly, a little bit about you. Frequency matters, but it's not everything. Quality matters too. I also want to talk about something real uncomfortable. Sometimes we say we want friends, but what we really want is someone to arrive into all the friendship labor. We want them to initiate, invite, remember, check in, create the connection, because being that one who reaches first feels very vulnerable. Would they say no? Were they too busy? Rather desperate? But for them interested, that is also possible. There is something embarrassing about wanting connection. I think we make need sound like weakness sometimes. Human beings need people. It does not mean we need everybody. It does not mean we enjoy solitude, but we can enjoy solitude too. It simply means connection matters. And there is something powerful about being able to say, I enjoy you. I would like to do this again. You seem like my kind of person. That is clear. That is warm. And the feeling is mutual. You just gave the relationship somewhere to go. Now, friendship after a certain age also brings another challenge. People have baggage. Including us. Everyone has lived something. Maybe somebody have been betrayal. Friendships have ended horribly. You stopped trusting people. Maybe you learned independence for the first time. They're cautious. You are cautious. Sometimes adult friendship starts slowly. That is not automatically rejection. Some people need repetition before they relax. You need a few times. You see how somebody handles things. You notice whether their words and their behavior match. You learn whether they gossip about everybody who leaves the room. That is useful information because eventually you're leaving the room too. Just saying. You learn whether somebody can celebrate, whether they can apologize. And when I say that again, you learn whether somebody can celebrate you, people, themselves, meant to say it like that. You learn whether they can hear no and understand that, whether they are curious about you, whether the friendship has room for both people to exist. And that takes time. Actually, think we sometimes try to rush intimacy, especially when we are hungry for connection. We need someone, we meet someone wonderful and immediately think, this is my new person. Maybe. Let it become. You do not need to force closeness. Spend time, pay attention, see what grows. That feels healthier to me. And like, while we are busy, I want to say this too. Busyness can become a shield. Sometimes I'm busy really means I do not have room. Sometimes it means I don't want to. It can generally mean my calendar is trying to kill me too. We do not oh we do not always know, but if you repeatedly feel like you're begging someone to start participate in your life, maybe stop dragging it. Not dramatically, not with a speech. Since you clearly don't value me, maybe just step back. Let the friendship show up, but if it's naturally because it be sustained. If everything disappears immediately, that gives you information, and information does not always need a confrontation attached to it. Sometimes you simply adjust. You keep the friendship, but you keep the relationship at the level it can hold. That person may be a perfectly good acquaintance. Stop demanding best friend level behavior from an acquaintance level friendship or relationship. That will save you frustration. Not every good person is meant to become one of the closest people. It does not diminish them. It gives the relationship an honest place to live. And then there are people who surprise you. The person you did not expect to become important. You meet them through a class, travel, a hobby, a community event, online, some random conversation. Then 6 months later, you're thinking, where did you come from? I love that possibility too, because it reminds me that our social lives are not finished products. There are people who know you deeply who do not know your name today. I said something similar when we talked about people to do life with, and I still believe it. Sometimes we act like every meaningful relationship we will ever have, somebody already exists about 40 or 50. Who made that rule? You can meet somebody at 60 who becomes essentially to your life. You can develop a community in an entire new city. You can start traveling and meet people there. You can join something because you genuinely enjoy it and actively find your people, your tribe. The last part matters because I think friendship works better when friendship is not always the goal. Go do something you like. Take a class, do an event, join a group, volunteer something meaningful, and do the hobby. Travel. Go where people are doing things you enjoy and you like to naturally exist in. Then connection has content. You already have something to talk about. And if nobody becomes your new best friend, you still do something you want to do. That's a win. You do not need to enter every room thinking, which one is my future best friend? Hello, hello. Show on yourself and anyone else that you may think consider your friend. Let yourself breathe. Everybody breathing. Just be interested and talk. Ask something natural. Share something natural. See who feels easy, who makes you curious, who seem curious about you. Connections leave clues like breadcrumbs. And sometimes it's repetition before those clues becomes friendship. The beautiful part about friendships, we get to choose differently now. Maybe when you were younger, you stayed in friendship because you had history, or because the group expected it, or because you did not know what you needed yet. Now you can ask yourself one question I actually think it's worth keeping. How do I feel after spending time with them? That's enough. Are they perfect? Do we agree on everything? How do I feel after spending time with them? More like myself, curious, energetic, maybe relaxed, performative, I don't know, small. Pay attention. It does not mean one weird day end that cycle of friendship. Everybody has weird days, but patterns tell you things. And I want friendships that can exist and I don't want to audition every time into the room. You know? I want to laugh, talk deeply, say something ridiculously weird, be quiet, be excited, even change my mind, celebrate something. I want to have a bad day if I need to have a bad day, and be a whole person. And I want to offer the same room back because friendship is not only finding people who understand me, it is becoming somebody's capable of understanding others too. That is the part we cannot skip. Can I let my friend change? Can I celebrate her without turning it into, you know, a comparison? Can I apologize? Can I make room? Can I tell a difference between temporary busyness and permanent disinterest? Can I enjoy somebody without needing to own all of their time? That is friendship too. I do not think we need more people to join our lives, like socially full. I think we need relationships with enough life inside them to feel very real. That might mean fewer people. It might mean new people. It might mean old friendships becoming more intentional again. Maybe there is something you genuinely miss. Not because anything happened, like just happened. Send a text. We never talk anymore. Why don't you just try? I was thinking about you when I grabbed something next week. That is enough. And maybe there's a new person in your orbit you keep thinking seems interesting. Invite them somewhere. Not a friend proposal, some tea or coffee, or that. Like something simple. Give the relationship a chance to become something. Because sometimes we keep saying, you want this community. A community is standing there waiting for you to send the first message. Maybe it's you. That is the second and final question that I want to leave. Mm, who have you been waiting to invite into your life? Not chase, not convince, invite. There's a difference. Maybe they say yes. Maybe they cannot. Maybe nothing comes from it. Maybe something beautifully does. Either way, you practice openness, and openness matter, especially if you have spent a long time becoming independent. There's strength in independence. There's also strength in being willing to connect. You do not lose yourself because you need people, and you do not fail because expected. Sometimes adult friendships is simply slower, more deliberate, more layered. But slower does not mean impossible. Yeah, people are still out there. Some may already know you, some may not even know you yet. So many people you overlook because you expect the friendship to arrive another way. But you gotta stay open, stay discerning, and occasionally send the text. Oh my God. My name is Akinatan. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please come on back. You know, um, we're talking about what it makes to build a life that actually fits the person you're becoming and include the people we choose to do life with. Until next time, keep growing, keep becoming, keep connecting, and let's keep creating conversation that transfer lives. Peace.